Hey everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Astlibra. So, where to start? A lot has happened since I last recorded. It's been several days, because I had actually been pre-recording ahead just a little bit, as is usually the plan. So, that allowed me to spend quite a bit of time off camera, as I outlined last time. I'm going to show off the details momentarily, and I'm also going to demonstrate a couple of things. I mean, there are so many things I want to address, so it's going to be confusing or confused. I hope it's not going to be too bad. So, where do we start? I suppose let's start, well, with the fact that we're back in the Cave of Libra. And, yeah. This is my current save file that I've been updating. We're at 8 hours 24. Our previous save file is 4 hours 57. Although, that being said, I did override the save file at the end of the last episode, which was originally 5 hours 50 something. So, I've only spent roughly 2.5 hours, or pretty much exactly 2.5 hours. So we were at almost 6, now we're at 8:24. So yeah, pretty much exactly 2.5 hours I spent off camera. You can also see my money, of course. I didn't gain any levels because of the trinket that disables XP, of course. So otherwise I would probably be, I don't know. I mean, depends on whether eventually enemies just stop giving XP altogether, but I would probably be level like 30 or so, easily, because I spent a lot of time in this cave. I cleared it a lot, over and over. And while that was mindless and not entirely, or not particularly exciting, I also didn't mind it because obviously I was watching YouTube videos, listening to several podcasts during that time, and yeah, it was fun. I enjoy doing that kind of thing sometimes. Now, the fact, or the reason why I did this for as long as I did is, of course, something that I did talk about at some point, but I don't think I even mentioned toward, the end of last episode where I was talking about doing some grinding. And that is, of course, the tree branch. Now, you may notice that it's not completely maxed out, because, of course, I wanted to save the big moment for when I was recording. And also, I want to demonstrate, just to really illustrate how insanely long it takes to level this thing up. I mean, I guess the fact that we went from, like, I don't know, less than 2 of those squares, so less than 10% of the XP, to pretty much exactly, I would say, 95%, where we are currently. That took 2.5 hours of constant grinding. Of course, not as efficient as it could have been, I suppose, especially because of one aspect that I suppose I'm going to point out later. But yeah, it's a bit insane. But that being said, I respect it, and I will not even be mad, genuinely, if it turns out that whatever you unlock for this is not even good. It might be amazing, which would be great, of course, but honestly, if it's just a joke or intentionally crappy, that's perfectly fair. It's entirely on me. No one's forcing me to do this but myself. The fact that they included this, a bit of an homage, I suppose, to, older video games that obviously this game is very much a love letter to and very much inspired by, that had these kinds of silly, ridiculous challenges. That's... I respect that, I like that, and yeah, even if I don't get anything out of it, I don't regret having done all the grinding. The only reason I'm maybe regretting it a little bit is because of all the extra money that I made, which of course I could just technically go ahead and throw away. I could just buy some items and never use them, or throw them away. I don't know, can you throw stuff away? Maybe. It's ultimately, I suppose it doesn't matter that much. Now, that is one thing, and the other thing, of course, is all the crystals we got. We have hundreds, thousands even, of crystals, which is insane and which will possibly allow us to unlock the entire board in one go. Well, except for the lock things, the gates and whatnot that are in place here and there that are literally gatekeeping us and preventing us from just unlocking the entire board in one go. But yeah, that pretty much trivializes that aspect. So while I didn't gain any levels, I did, of course, there was no way for me to not collect all these crystals, and I cannot just get rid of them, so that's just how it is. But, you know, they put this tree branch in with this ridiculous XP requirement, and of course they had to expect certain people, a certain kind of player, to go ahead and, you know, grind that thing out. Because I wasn't going to, or it's just not realistic, not reasonable to just equip that thing and keep using it for the rest of the game, basically. I mean, it's possible that, or in fact, it's pretty much confirmed that stronger enemies will give you more XP. Because that's the thing I said I was going to mention later. I suppose now is later. So I was clearing the main cave, and then occasionally, mostly just to mix things up a little bit, I also went outside the ruined village and, you know, along the path with all the slimes and eventually some flowers. But I wasn't really paying attention to my XP gains, but when I later did, it turned out that clearing the cave gave me like twice as much XP, weapon XP, as clearing out the weak slimes and flowers did, even though the overall number of enemies must be similar. So from that, I'm guessing that it's not just the number of enemies you slay, but also their level. They give you different amounts of XP, so it's possible that using the tree branch in later game areas against stronger enemies, where, of course, it would be more difficult to actually use it and, you know, kill the enemies with it, that leveling up wouldn't be faster. But still, I would have, if I had just kept playing with this thing equipped, I would have, you know, missed out on unlocking the effects for all the various better, actual better weapons that I would have been gathering along the way. They would have just been accumulating in my inventory unused. And, you know, it would still have taken a considerable amount of time for sure to unlock this, to max this out by just progressing the game. So really sitting down and grinding specifically for it is the only reasonable way, I think. I could be wrong, but anyway, that's what I decided to do, so here we are. And yeah, that resulted in basically trivializing the entire grow system to an extent. There's still going to be the, you know, the roadblocks that you have to remove some way. And who knows, maybe the later upgrades are going to cost hundreds of crystals anyway. But, you know, needless to say, having these ridiculous amounts, interestingly not a single blue one, which I suppose that alone means that it's not completely trivialized, but we can convert stuff into blue, right? Anyway, so yeah, that inevitably we accumulated all of those, and that is going to some extent trivialize things. Then the money, we have over 6,000 gold, which seems like a lot, and it is, but I also bought at one point 100 stone pickaxes, or 99, the maximum amount, as well as 99 copper keys, which I kept running out of. And yeah, so I did one trip back to the castle town to buy those things, which cost, well, I don't know, I guess the keys cost 1,000, 10 each, and the pickaxes are 50 each, so that was a lot of money. So yeah, you can safely assume that I probably made about twice as much as I currently still have. I also bought some other minor things, but like a couple of, I guess I stocked up on some goji berries and maybe some torches at some point. But yeah, and I've been crafting silver keys and gold keys whenever I encountered the respective chests. I did, and I guess I never found a single gold chest on camera so far. Maybe we're gonna get lucky. Well, we're obviously going to see them eventually. Maybe even when I'm going to resume going through the cave once I'm done with this current ramble here, if I ever will indeed finish it. Yeah. Anyway, I guess I must have found between like half a dozen and a dozen, maybe like 7 or 8 gold chests all in all. And interestingly, most of them, I got some nice things. Like I got 2 new formulas for items, and I didn't look at them. I just noted that I got them. 2 or maybe 3. Maybe we had 2 and I got 3 total during the session. We got several of these cards, notably as well. But I think those were mostly from silver chests. From the gold chests, we got, I think, maybe the 2 formulas, or 2 of the formulas. And then the rest were actually key molds for more golden keys. That's the main thing that I got from gold chests, interestingly. I mean, I'm sure that depends on the enemy that drops them. And I was getting most of those from... It seemed like I was getting most of the gold chests from big slimes, but I don't know. That might just be completely not true, because, of course, you often just slay a ton of enemies at the same time. It's not really clear which enemy drops what. I mean, what else is notable here? I didn't use up any throwing knives, so these are... I guess we started out with 2 and I got like 3, or maybe we had 3 and I got 2 during the entire session, so those are extremely rare drops here. I did not get anywhere near enough copper keys to keep up. As you can see, I bought 99 and now we're down to 36, so copper chests are pretty common, and the keys that at one point seemed pretty common drops definitely do not drop enough to meet the demand. I did go through my pickaxes. I did find a couple of additional wooden ones. But yeah, honestly, these are relatively cheap that you can just stock up on stone pickaxes, no problem, and just use them as your default, which I have been doing. I got a bunch of quivers and arrows in addition. I ended up getting some more of these Vijaya thingies. I don't know. I think I only had a single one, right? So I got 4 more, which is nice. I got a couple of these, a couple of these. I got a holy water. I think I didn't have that before. Against petrification, some antitoxin, a bunch of small empty bottles. I definitely got way more goji berries eventually, as I kept, you know, as I got better at actually fighting and avoiding and blocking, which, yeah, I did. Not sure that I'm going to be able to replicate that while also recording and commentating, but at least while I was more or less focusing on the game itself, I had some runs where I took barely any hits. And, you know, most of them I used maybe 1 berry, but usually I got more than 1 berry during one clear of the cave. So, yeah, those started stacking up, as you can see, as did all the various ingredients, eggs, flour, and butter. Yeah, I got these recipes that we're gonna, or formulas that I'm gonna take a closer look at, I suppose. We got a bunch of these cards that I didn't use, also because, as makes perfect sense, of course, putting these on the scale gives you the respective attribute. And luckily I think I may have gotten one for each attribute, actually. Yeah, I got the luck one pretty recently. It is the most expensive in terms of karma, so yeah, that's interesting. We got 4 for physical fitness. So my idea is to basically keep 1 of each of these around, so I can put them on the scales if needed for the more substantial boost, I suppose. But with this, I mean, how much is it gonna give? We have 224 health, 229. Ooh, 5 each. That's absolutely not terrible. So I'm going to use all but 1 of these for a decent little boost. And yeah, I mean, I don't know that I'm ever necessarily going to equip this one specifically, but yeah, the attack power one. I was hoping that I would eventually get one, and I did. I mean, it gives you both regular attack power and good attack power boost. Costs 32 karma, so we could potentially I mean, this one has attack power. I mean, honestly... Place on the scales. If we do that... Yeah, I mean, it's still 90% effective. And now we get the double attack power boost and epic magical power boost. I think I like that better than before. So yeah, that's pretty nice. What else? Anything else notable? Well, we got a ton of refining kits, which is good. We got a decent amount of silver stones, and as I said, I have been using these to make more silver keys, and I've been using the gold stones to make gold keys, so we did find more of those than we currently have. We got so many stones, because both of the mining points outside the village are mainly giving you just stones, so they're really not worth it. That's another reason why the cave is just a lot more worth grinding, because the two gathering points inside the cave quite regularly give you ores, and you know, the copper ore specifically as well, and also a bunch of these things, which I suppose once I sell them are gonna make me even richer. We got, well, we started getting a couple more slime's eyeballs. I mean, but you can see that compared to everything else there, and especially considering that slimes are by far the most numerous enemy, they're still a very rare drop. Like, for the longest time, I had, you know, less than 10, and it seemed to pick up a little bit more toward the end of the grinding session, but, or grinding sessions. I guess I should mention that I didn't just sit down for 2.5 hours doing nothing but this. That would have been a bit insane even for me. No, I did that over the course of several days. But yeah, during the last session or so, I seemed to be getting more of these, but that's probably not true. Or maybe it isn't, but it was just completely random, of course, because nothing changed that would have affected that. We got some wooden logs, a bunch of them actually, a bunch of cobwebs, a bunch of bat wings. Lots of cobwebs actually, considering that there aren't that many spider enemies. Bat wings, yeah, pretty numerous because there are quite a few bats. Not very many bones, beautiful bones by the way, I guess I never noticed that that's what they're called for some reason. There are only like 3 skeletons? 4 maybe? Maybe 4. There's one there, one there. I guess we're gonna see. Yeah, there might be 4 skeletons per run. So considering that, yeah, it's a pretty rare drop. But we did get a bunch. Hopefully enough to make all the recipes that we found. I guess I should maybe look at those. Redstone sword. Oh, it tells you where you get the recipe. That's interesting. I mean, once you get it though, it's no longer important, is it? We can make it. With some cookies for some reason. Ergetlum? That looks like a legendary sword, if I ever saw one. Okay. Made with a muffin, because why not? Lion shield, we can obviously make that. Champion's armor. Wait a second. Oh, we already made this. Yeah, it's mastered, of course. And it's also filled in. We see the icon, so that tells us that we made that. Right, and the Dragon Cup. I think this is the first formula that I actually found during the session. And that is a trinket. I have not looked at it. Alright, the one other thing that I did was I made the bone necklace. That, of course, was available from the start of the game. During my little shopping trip, I did replace this, or maybe I had this one on with the bone necklace that just gives more bonuses. Yeah, obviously I still don't know if the luck bonus really did much. I mean, it certainly, I guess it increased the amount of gold that I got. But, yeah, should I just unequip that now for the last couple of runs? Nah. Right, I think that's pretty much it. So let's just go ahead and grind out the last 5%. Basically, the last little rectangle. Nice. Oh, there's a regular chest. A bronze chest, I guess. Oops. Yeah, okay. Didn't mean to cancel. I don't know why I pressed the button again. It's fine. Anyway, yeah, so... just go through the cave, kill everything, loot everything. And it should take around 2 clears of the cave, I would say. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see. Spider right here. Sometimes I remember and immediately jump to avoid it. Skeleton is just sitting there and waiting. Get this guy for good measure and his chest. Oh, there are some keys. Yeah, surprisingly rare drop. When I went through the cave for the first time, during the quote-unquote normal playthrough, I guess, it seemed like I was getting copper keys, you know, stacks of copper keys pretty regularly. Well, I got hit by the stupid bat. Yeah, sometimes they get me by surprise. Also because their range, especially like vertically, is a bit misleading. It can seem like they're still, you know, above your head, where they shouldn't be able to damage you, but then they still do. But I suppose it's it works that way either, you know, in either direction, because their upwards reach is also pretty ridiculous. Like, I mean, obviously I can stand here and just hit that guy. See, there I was hit by the bat when it didn't technically look like it was touching me. But again, it's not a big deal. I'll just keep an eye on my health. And the most damaging things by far are the skeletons. The spiders, I guess, they also hit pretty hard, but they're pretty easy to avoid. They just pace back and forth and only attack you when you're in range. But they also often even just outright miss. Okay, well, there I was hit. I just wanted to demonstrate, I suppose. There's a throwing knife, okay. It would be nice if we could get another golden chest to drop. Wow, getting lots of these things. Yeah, I've barely been getting any 2 of the world tree, but oh, I got 2 on this run. Well, that's randomness for you. Mining point. This one should give me a bunch of those ores. Yeah, well, nice. Several gold ones. There's a single flower down here. I didn't always bother killing it, but you know, I guess it's fast enough. Now we continue here. There's that single slime. That flower. Ow. Light is about to go out. I suppose I might as well just fire up a new torch. Here we got the spider going back and forth very slowly. Alright, that somehow worked out. Totally expected to take damage there at some point during all that mess. Alright, nice, nice, good stuff. Here we got a bit of slime. And this is the final room. The final room full of enemies in the cave, I think. Yeah, I've also been trying to... Well, that was a complete whiff. Been trying to make pretty good use of the spell, which we have now used over 200 times. It never leveled up another time, so yeah, it's just a matter of using it so and so many times to master it, to mark it with a little star. Presumably making it... Ooh? Oh, wait, what? That last box went way faster. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the display is not completely pixel accurate. Okay, I definitely got way less than, or Yeah, I would say less than half a box full per clear. So I did not expect this to go so fast. But even better, I suppose. And perfect with the last batch of enemies here. Swordsmith. Unlocked. Wow, okay. Yeah, right. Also, mastering the spell. Wait, I suppose we want to head out of here. Because, as it turns out, the Weltree Blossom cannot be used in here. You can use it, but it says you cannot go back at the moment. And that is true both when you're here in the Hinterlands region. I tried it both inside the cave and outside, as well as inside the castle town. I thought maybe it just wouldn't allow me to teleport from here, from the frontier specifically. But no, I guess it's just inactive during this part of the game for some reason. Surely it's going to work later. But yeah, these... I didn't try using one of these. Presumably they would work. But yeah, they've been pretty rare. Anyway, what did I want to say? There was something... Oh yeah, I guess I want to look at what we unlocked, huh? That would make sense. Swordsmith, holy crap, that's expensive. But, of course, that being said, we could use it for free if we keep using the tree branch. Don't know that we want to do that, though, but what is it? Wrestler? That's not it. Sylph? What was Sylph again? When an enemy is weak to the wind attribute. Ah, okay. Swordsmith. Becomes easier to increase weapon proficiency. Okay, so in other words, unless this really means that it's also armor proficiency, but probably there's probably an armor smith skill as well that does the same thing for armor. I mean, swordsmith sounds like it would specifically work for weapon proficiency, as it says here, so that's what I'm going to assume. But yeah, that means, of course, that it's not going to work with you equipping the thing for free. You'll have to equip it with crystals. But I suppose it's nice to have for later in the game if there are any other late game weapons that also take a long time to level up, or just you have a bunch of them perhaps and want to max them out relatively quickly. I guess all this grinding saved us maybe some time down the road, or maybe it didn't at all because we could have leveled it up so much faster later. Again, it doesn't matter. The thing itself is not useless, so that's nice. It's not going to be immediately useful because it takes 7 crystals to equip of the 8 that we have right now, so we could use it. I guess if there was something I wanted to unlock to level up quickly, I could technically use it if I unequip most of my other skills right now. But I'm not going to do that. Well, that's fine. Totally fine. We want to save. Yeah, we're going to start using this save file now, just in case. And we finally leave this place, never to return ever again. And now we have a bunch of shopping to do. Oops. Let's just stock up on torches, why don't we? We're gonna burn through them. Literally. I mean, I really don't need to buy more goji berries. Cactus fruits? I mean, I don't have any of those right now. I could literally just buy 100. That seems a bit excessive, perhaps. Let's just go with, I don't know, 20. Wooden pickaxes? No. Let's, I mean, that is a lot of money. I guess that's fine, though. Let's stock up on those so we don't really have to worry about that for the time to come. Same with keys. We do have this, and this, and this. There's the Dragon Cup. Let's see. Agility 5, Luck 2, Adaptability 5, and increases ST. Or ST increased plus, so I'm guessing that's like the upgraded level of that effect. Legend says that a dragon drank liquor from this cup, extends time that ST is maintained. Oh. ST increased plus... I guess that's what that means. So it means that ST doesn't decay as quickly out of combat. I mean, that's useful. And it does have some stats as well. Obviously, we're gonna make it. Okay, right, and you... Oh, you want to buy this item? No. Can I? Cannot be purchased. You lack the materials. Okay, but of course you also don't have to. Let's see here. We have tools to sell. Goji berries. Where are those? Attega, there it is. Higher up the list than I thought. 18. Each sells for 135. I mean... there we go. Money filled back up. We could, of course, sell things like... these... Where are they? Are they not here? Are they not called what I think they're called? Can you not sell them? These. Vijaya. It's a consumable. Maybe they can't be sold? Either way. Not that I was going to. Now let's see here. This we have. We never made this. Of course, now we can easily make that. We have this. Ooh, right, this one for 3,000. I forgot about that. Yeah, let's first confirm that... Oh, we need another cupcake for this. Wow, that looks amazing. A magical sword forged in a place beyond the spirit world, imbued with the spiritual power of the earth. And, I mean, it looks impressive, but it's not, like, super overpowered. Makes sense, I guess. Like, it would be silly if these super early game enemies dropped formulas for some absolutely overpowered weapon. I suppose that it could be balanced by making it require late game materials, but it seems like early game, or, you know, enemies are gonna drop formulas for stuff that is somewhat appropriate to their own power level. This is a blade carved from stone and imbued with fire spirits, okay. Weaker, balanced range and handling, 100 weight, versus this, which is pretty strong. I guess it's the highest attack power, oh yeah, by far. With slow handling, mid-range, very heavy. Yeah, I mean, as you would expect. Okay, we need more cookies, we need another cupcake. We also want to make this buckler. We want to make the line shield. Okay, we're gonna need 2 cupcakes. We want to make the leather armor. And the oboro. And we already have this. Okay. So we make plain cookies, and we make 2 sponge cakes. Yummy. And I didn't buy this. Let's buy this. Legendary item. Nice. I mean, I don't know if the formula for it is just especially rare. Obviously, the materials are not anymore. Well, I suppose the bones are among the rare stuff that you can get early game, but yeah, it's, you know, still very mundane materials, including 2 sponge cakes for whatever reason. I guess maybe they're for the blacksmith. You know, just to eat while forging, which is fair, I suppose. Okay. Music Box of Courage. We obviously no longer want to use this. Instead, I guess we're just gonna swap to this. It still gives us some luck, some adaptability, which was mainly weapon, mainly underwater breath and movement speed or something. The SD increase, I suppose, is a nice side effect, although not super necessary, I guess, because it does fill up very, very quickly in actual combat. Yeah, this has some nice stats. 2 attack power is not going to make a difference, and 5 agility is already on this, so yeah, that's optimal, I would say. Now, our armor is currently already optimal. The burst armor effect is not that great. I guess I've seen it in effect sometimes, but Yeah, you can absolutely live without that. Coin Magnet would honestly be nice to have for free, but I suppose just for the stats I'm eventually going to go back to the Champion's Armor. Oh, this one? Oh, that's just our non-armor, right, never mind. But everything else does have something to unlock, so we're just going to start with this. Remove previous equipment's Karen Magic. Yes, that's fair. And the shield. Well, actually... Right. So this one's a bit lighter. More defensive, slightly more defensive, slightly less guard, whatever that means. I suppose defense power is just passive defense that it gives you that reduces your damage taken. And guard is specifically for how much it blocks when you hold it up. Presumably. Enhance performance. Aegis. Yeah, Aegis, that's... Well, we have that equipped anyway. Right. Well, let's equip this one first, and then this one is going to have even more defense, more guard, almost as much as the buckler. Same weight as this, and it also gives you 10 full resistance, whatever that means. Okay, so that's going to be a bit of an upgrade once we go move on to that. We have the Bone Sword, which is light element, yellow-ish. Sword made of hard, light, good quality bone. Its balance of power and weight is exceptional. Okay. Well, let's just go down the list. This one's interesting, obviously. Its powerful staff can summon lightning, produces lightning strikes in random locations. I mean, I'm very intrigued by that. It has 1 attack power, which I can only assume is not representative of the magic damage it's going to deal. Or else that would be quite disappointing. But yeah, let's start with the most mundane of the weapons that we have here. Just get that out of the way, I suppose. And, yeah, that's that. Karen skills. Right. Yeah, so actually this Aegis skill does make quite the difference. Because without this, it really does take a while for your shield to actually start blocking, even when, you know, the animation is already making it look like you're holding up the shield. But, like, I think last time I had... I was hit by a bunch of things as I was trying to block them. But, yeah, without Aegis equipped, you really have to start raising your shield quite a bit ahead of time, which is obviously trickier. So... this definitely helps, and it's nice that it costs only 1. So I want to keep that equipped most of the time, unless, of course, I'm specifically using a two-handed sword or two-handed weapon. Speaking of which, actually, so the Bone Sword is considered one-handed. But how about this? That's also one-handed. That's also one-handed. Okay, which of course makes it even better compared to this Rock Hammer, which has decent attack power. But of course it is two-handed. Wait, yeah, it is. Right. Okay, so yeah, we're leveling up all of these things now. And now we grow. Just finish off the random things that we didn't fill in. Oh, this actually connects-ish. Magic. Oh, it does not actually connect to the left there. Interesting. So we get this adaptability, and we get the new skill for 15 yellow. Heavenly Mountain. Possession skill. Oh, okay, that's how you learn more magic. Interesting. Right, of course it would be that kind of skill. That makes sense. Get this and this. Wait. Oh, that's blue. I mean, yeah. Sure, let's just do that. ST, speed. Skill level up. ST, recovery increases, as well as the basic power of possession skills. Ooh. Heck yeah, that's nice. Luck, attack, defense, speed. HP. Not paying attention to the cost really at all, because, well, it literally doesn't matter. We have, for all intents and purposes, infinite resources. Again, I'm a bit conflicted about that, but also, it's not my fault, not entirely. Okay, this is where stuff gets expensive. Okay, that's fair. Let's get the cheap stuff first, because the bonuses don't really get bigger. Not substantially, anyway. I guess it's 3 health? Yeah, 3 health instead of 2, but still 1 or 2 of the other stats. But for, like, 5 times the cost. I do not have a key for that. Okay, so we don't know what kind of key we need for those. Obviously something specific to those doors. Okay, we can connect these paths. What's going on down this way? There's a door here that locks another skill level up. Okay. Right, but used 6 times the cost in green, which of course we still have over 1,000 of, so whatever. Can we? Let's keep going on this. I saw another possession skill there to unlock. Ooh, we get keys on the board. Okay. At least that's what I'm assuming. Yeah, that's... Huh? Interesting that I can actually select this point in between nodes, but it doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, we can connect these. Is this where it becomes expensive? No, that's up, all the way up that way. Okay. And over here, that's the door, okay. Is the door even blocking me? Doesn't that just... Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess it blocks the way further up from here. That's fair. There's a skill up that way that we might not be able to get to. Okay, let's focus on this path here. That should just be a dead end. It does unlock a water-based or ice-based skill, apparently. Cold Bullet, yep. Oh, and there's a key. Okay, and that is displayed up in the top left. I mean, surely you cannot get yourself into a you know, situation where you cannot progress. So I think I'm just going to... Okay, first of all, it would be nice to just be able to freely scroll across the board instead of having to follow the paths, but I get it, you know. I think I'm gonna open this and just get this skill level upgrade. And now we keep going this way. And we're actually getting another key here. Awesome. Ooh, treasure. Magical staff. Fascinating. Fancier lock? I cannot even select that lock. Interesting. So... Oh yeah, a lock is different from a door, I guess. Somehow. Yeah, it's marked in red on the map as well. From the minimap it looks like we've already unlocked a significant portion of the entire thing, but maybe it scrolls beyond what we can see here. Okay, and we unlock Thunder Spear as a new skill. Very nice. And, well, I mean, I have the resources, so we might as well keep going. We do not have a key for this currently. Oh, there are more doors. More door. So many doors. Okay, interesting. So it's gonna lead to a key eventually. It does lead to a skill. Moonlight. Oh, and that's a dead end too. Maybe I should have saved a key for one of these doors. Well, it's too late now. Oh, there's a key. Oh, and each one of these paths is gonna have a key at the end. That's just how that works? Okay. Do we just start from the top? Kind of boring? Or do we go for something that promises something a bit more interesting? If we can't even see such a thing. I guess we don't really see where most of these eventually end up going. Yeah. It's made so that you cannot actually see what you eventually unlock. So why don't we just start with the bottommost one. 3 times the cost. Oh, that actually expanded yellow at this point, I guess? Wait, no, which one? I guess green is no longer our... what we have most of. So at this point this should expand yellow for sure. Yes, it did. Okay. And that's a significant amount, of course, but that's also fine. No problem. Skill up. We're gonna be so powerful. It's... I feel sorry for the poor enemies already. This upper path surely must lead to another key, because this goes to another red lock. But... followed by a green door as well. That's going to expand white. Yes. Oh, I wasn't even paying attention, but... Okay, green key get. There's some treasure that we're definitely not going to get to. I'm going to keep going on this path, even though we could unlock another door. Fire dragon. Oh, we cannot quite afford it. Well, we can. We're actually gonna expend some green. Soaring bird. Ooh, like a phoenix, I guess. Interesting. I mean, I guess I'm just gonna keep going until I run out of resources, right? What else would I do? Like, why would I stop here? New skill? Stone shield. Defensive skill. It's not really get me particularly excited. There's that key. Just mash through everything. We're about to run out. Ooh. I don't have enough force. Interesting. I mean, if I combine everything... no, I suppose not. 3 times 26? No, I mean, I do have enough, but not enough of any one single type. Interesting. Okay, so that's how that works. Fair enough. So I guess I could start saving up now. Or just keep going down the next best path as long as I can. Well, this would be the end of that, and yeah, either way. This is as much as we can do here. Okay. That is a lot, and... Wait, actually, if I keep going up... Oh, you know what? Yeah, you can see that the minimap does, in fact, scroll. It's not all contained in one map at all, of course. So, it could keep going much further to the right and up. Okay, so maybe we've actually only unlocked a tiny portion of the entire thing even now. But I mean, obviously, it's so much more than we would normally have at this point. Also, that's our fancy new sword. Actually, what's it like? Just medium range and handling. Fair enough. Weight compared to everything else. Actually heavier than the club. Not as heavy, not nearly as heavy as the rock hammer. Right, we found the magical staff, which has 1 attack power just like the magical lightning staff. It's much more basic looking, of course. It seems to be earth elemental. Can emit magic from its tip. Its strength is dependent on your magical power. Yeah, this is probably the introductory staff type weapon. And I am interested in checking it out, but we're gonna focus on this one first. Which is, of course, just a very standard weapon. Wow, also 50 minutes? Jesus, we haven't done anything. We've only... Well, I mean, we've done things, but I was hoping to actually make some progress. Dang. Also skills. Oh boy. Oh no. We're starting to use combinations of things now. Oh dear. Okay, we have Cold Bullet, which is just down, or down. Oh, so interesting. So, we replaced our Fire Dragon with Soaring Bird. I guess it automatically equipped the strongest, the highest level skill of each element, which is fair. Of course, it does give you a little demonstration there, okay. I do not know why it shows it the same thing twice. Oh, it shows what it's changing from. Never mind, I do understand that. Right, yeah. And it's hard to say if this Soaring Bird is going to make it easier to hit with. I mean, I guess it depends. The Fire Dragon somewhat hits things in front of you, not directly in front, but more or less in front, whereas the Soaring Bird goes quite steeply upwards. So, yeah, I could see situations where maybe the Fire Dragon would be better, but surely this thing is more powerful. I mean, it certainly is more expensive. Oh, and it even tells you how many times out of how many times you've used it, so we know that 30 are required for mastering. Okay, that was never a mystery. Cold Bullet. Okay, that's gonna hit pretty much in front of me. From the looks of it, summons a stationary spirit to launch a concentrated attack on the ground in front of them. Nice, and it's only 80. Stone Shield. So it's right down or down right. In any combination. Oh, wait, but we have... So those are earth skills, of course. Summons a shield that blocks ranged attacks. The shield follows you around for a while. I see, and it's gonna create 2 rotating shields, in fact. Maybe when it's upgraded, it's gonna be a 3rd shield or something, or maybe even 4 shields. At least it's not just a magic that blocks an attack once or something that you have to actually time. So yeah, I guess I could see the use of that. But we also have this. Heavenly Mountain. Pierces the heavens. The mountain that pierces the heavens? That pierces the sky. With a pillar of rock. Most effective against enemies in the air. Yeah, you'd think so. Okay. I mean, that looks pretty nice. Spawns directly on top of you and just pierces upwards. I am intrigued by that for sure. But we have plenty of other offensive options, so I don't hate the Stone Shield at all. The thing is that I'm just notoriously terrible at using these kinds of more utility or defensive skills over just purely offensive ones. Plus, I want to upgrade everything, of course, because, you know, it's a thing that I can do, so of course I want to. Thunder Spear. Turns into an electricity discharging drill that charges at the enemy. Invincible while transforming. Yeah, I mean, that invincibility while summoning the Fire Dragon was a thing, so I'm assuming that's just true for every summon. Thunder Spear. 100 ST consumed. Right, can be used for emergency evasion. I suppose it does move you forward quite a bit. Looks interesting, for sure. And Moonlight. This double strike has a short range, but delivers a devastating attack. Yep, okay. Huge area of effect. I like it. Also, the name does not really convey what the spell is going to be like. Alright, good stuff. Yeah, do we just keep going, or do I just end this episode? And, I mean... Again, we made no forward progress, as I hoped we might, but... It was still somewhat necessary, I suppose. You know, a necessary report on what I have been doing. And basically, I condensed the 2.5 hours session into less than 1 hour of episode, so that worked out, I guess. It was still efficient, maybe, if you want to look at it that way. Either way, I guess I'm gonna wrap this one up here instead of making it extra long. Next time, for lack of anything else to do, we're definitely going to make some progress. That being said, the arena unlocked, didn't it? So maybe I'm gonna check that out. But that's still gonna be a type of progress and something we haven't seen yet. So either way, it's gonna be maybe a little bit more interesting than this. You know, we'll see. Until then, as always, I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and I shall see you real soon. Bye-bye.